What's happening, guys? Jesus here. Welcome back to the channel. We're just going to go over a quick thoughts and kind of match review of the Tottenham Everton game for the Cup. I wasn't planning on doing one because it's a Cup game and I just didn't want to, but this game was wild. Absolutely wild. 5-4, unfortunately, a loss for us. But there's a lot to talk over, a lot of points, a lot of good and a ton of bad. But let's get started real quick. Got some notes down. We've lost 4 out of the last 5, which is terrible. Even though this game was not a beating and it wasn't, how would you say, just a bad game from us or just like an abysmal game like the Chelsea game or the Brighton game. It wasn't that. But it's still loss. We have some stuff to take from it. We could build a little bit and move forward, but there's a lot of negatives coming from this. Start with the good. We played expansive football. Eric Lamela, Lucas looked good. The team, Højbjerg and Dele, they did okay in terms of being able to pass and move the ball around, finding Son, making the runs, making the crosses. We looked good for the first time in a while, and also without Kane, it looked like we had a plan to play without him, kind of where we wanted to go, where we wanted to fill into the gaps. Players were showing up for each other, making the pass and moving to be able to be another option for that player. So the football was good. For the most part, it was very expansive, very progressive, very much on the front foot. Unfortunately, we just couldn't take our chances, which I think would have sealed the game off. We were up 1-0 after Sanchez goal, and I think that could have sealed the game off. So good football, but no end product, unfortunately. The defense was simply not good enough. Davies and Doherty switch off too much. Like, it's a difference in between being an incredible player and being talented and being able to make passes and score goals or dribble, and being a good player in terms of being able to focus and not lose your positioning or lose track of the player you're supposed to be tracking, or fill in the gaps when needed, or understand that, all right, this is where we're moving, this is where the line's going to be at. I don't want to let a guy play onside for me, following the player's run. There's a huge difference in that. And I don't think they're just not good enough. I don't think they're good enough. They don't make the smart plays. They don't stay focused. They don't kind of look around and see where the player's at. Like, all right, who's my guy here? This guy's gonna pass here. Let me make sure that the guy who passed it doesn't make a run off him and give him the option. There's a big difference in that, And I just don't think those guys are good enough, unfortunately. There's no blame on Jose today. Jose came out. We played expansive football. We played good football. We were up 1-0, went down 3-1 within like 8 minutes, got back into the game at halftime, tied it up, 4-3 again, tied it up, ended up losing 5-3. There's no blame on Jose on this one. It wasn't because we sat back and parked the bus, or there was just no play. There was no focal point. There was no end goal here. We clearly had a game plan. The players were playing very well on the ball. The passes were good. The movement was good. Unfortunately, just no end product, and even worse, even more unfortunate, that our defense are amateur type players. Like, there's no way a Premier League defense should be giving up 5 goals, giving up those runs. Hugo Lloris had a stinker. Absolutely terrible tonight. Horrible. But let's get right into the player ratings for us. I had Son at a 6, looked okay. I think he got 1 assist. But he wasn't looking too sharp, He didn't really create too much. He had a few good opportunities, but there wasn't anything that was like you really saw him trying to make the difference. Bergwijn got hooked at like 50 minutes, 51 minutes for Kane. He got a 4. Just didn't look good. Didn't look very good on the ball, or didn't look very creative. He was okay on the ball. He was dribbling, kind of passing the ball around, being a good cycling, moving player. But 4 because he got hooked and he just didn't create much. Lamela, I gave an 8. I want to say he got a goal, 1 goal. I'm not sure if he got the assist on another, but he looked really intent. He had intensity. He was moving good. He was passing good. He was doing little flicks, a few skill moves. Lamela was 100% our best creative player and our best player going forward. He had a few ball recoveries. Lamela, zero complaints on Lamela. 8 out of 10. I would give him a 9, but obviously we lost, and he got hooked, so can't give him the full thing. Lucas, I gave a 6. Looked okay. Had a few good passes, a few good moments, but he just has no finish to the product. The product's there, but he can't finish it. He can't deliver it. So 6 out of 10. Had a decent game. Højbjerg and Dele, gave Højbjerg a 6. Had 2 mistakes that I think led to goals, but he played all right. Other than that, he did a bunch of ball recoveries, a bunch of passing, a bunch of movement from him to open up space for other guys. 6 out of 10. Can't complain. Did it right. And Dele, I gave a 5. Didn't really see much from him. A bunch of sloppy passes, unfortunately. Defensively, he was okay. But his passing, like anything beyond 15 yards, was just not making it or just not accurate at all. So he didn't really look very sharp today. Hasn't looked very sharp in the last 2 games. But didn't really look sharp today. So 5 out of 10 is what it is. Davies and Doherty, 5s. Played okay, but then clearly just weren't good enough to keep on point or not stay focused and track their man or stop the runner. So 5 out of 10. Sanchez and Toby. Toby got a 6. Sanchez, I gave an 8. Obviously, he got 2 goals, 2 big goals, had a bunch of clearances. But for that Richarlison goal, they kind of just watched him. They should have closed him down. Hugo's got to do better, but we'll get to Hugo right now. So Sanchez 8 for his 2 goals, and his overall play was pretty good. Toby 6. Didn't really do much, unfortunately. Gave Hugo a 3. Hugo had a stinker, an absolute goose egg. The guy's hands were soft, super soft. Pause on that. Like just straight tortilla hand, just bending and folding. Nothing. He just wasn't good at all today. 0 opportunity, or he got his hand to a bunch of those goals. I think the 3 of them he got his hand on, but it was either too low, too high, just barely moved it. Like he had a really bad game. I can't say anything else other than that. He just wasn't good enough. For the subs, I gave Kane an 8. Kane created a bunch for us. He had a bunch of good moments. And obviously incredible passes. Got the goal to tie us up 4-4. Made the runs. Winks and Dele, I gave 1s. Winks and Dele are awful footballers. Harry Winks today came on and made the team worse. Dele came on and made the team worse. I didn't see Dele. Dele was jogging on counterattacks when they were countering. He was jogging back. He's fresh legs and he's jogging back. Dele's just a terrible footballer. I'm done. I'm Dele out. Dele sucks. There's no point in playing him. He doesn't give us anything. He's not intent. He has no intensity. He doesn't have desire. He looks lethargic. He looks lazy. He looks passive. He's pedestrian in every game that he's played. Like, he's just kind of walking around, kind of roaming. If he gets the ball, not a big deal. Every time he gets it, he tries to do a flick of some sort. Harry Winks is the only person I've ever seen try and volley like a 30-yard banger in the last minute of the game in a 5-4 game or in a tied game instead of controlling it and putting it right back into the box. That was a terrible decision. He just had a terrible game. Sissoko and Vinny, I just gave NAs, nothing available. No rating for them because he didn't really get too much time. And they weren't very much into the game. Sissoko played all right. Vinny played all right. I guess you'd give them 5s, but NA because they didn't get the opportunity or the time allowed to really make a stamp on the game. So out of the positives and negative, out of this, I would take our defense sucks. Jose's not to blame because clearly his tactics to play forward and play expansive football worked in that sense. But simply what we could really draw from this is that we can play good football. We can play passing football. We can move. We can make runs. We can't defend. That's it. Like, I don't blame Jose for putting 10 men at the back. I wouldn't blame him for starting just Kane and everybody else in defending because our defense leaks goals. They let runners go. They let every little pass through. They don't close down. It's just not good enough. Obviously, Aurier's wasn't playing today. No Reguilon yet. So they'll come back and they'll help us out a little bit, but still, it's just not good enough. On to the City game for the weekend, where it's scary because they've won 15 in a row. And they are a very good team. They're not going to let us score 4 goals like Everton did. No chance. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to keep kind of getting this content out to you, Tottenham content. I really want to do just an EPL-based content as well. So, yeah, peace out.